Hello and welcome to the House Geeks Real Estate Show. I'm Chad Vandelot.
Again.
And joining me in studio is Kirk Duckwall. We are the House Geeks. You can catch us live every Tuesday around the noon hour or every Sunday at noon on AM 950. Be sure to check out our website, housegeeks.com, where you'll find the latest and greatest searching and researching tools. You'll also find a calendar for upcoming classes. We've been doing a number of homebuyer classes throughout the Twin Cities. Typically, we find locations where you can drink and eat at, and have found that people rather enjoy drinking and eating.
We get a lot more people coming.
Yeah, we had a full house last time. The class was very well received. A lot of very valuable information on how to navigate current market conditions. So yeah, we hope to see you out at the next one.
Talking about current market conditions.
That's going to be our show today, a market update. And we are seeing some numbers that may potentially indicate that the market may be leveling off a bit. But we'll get into that. A lot of it is still the same trend as we've seen over the past 4 or so years.
Oh, I gotta listen to my clock since I didn't have that ready.
Is that Morse code? What are you saying? Hey, I take offense to that.
There we go. I had this all set. I messed it up. Welcome to the House Geeks Real Estate Show, sponsored by Bricks Real Estate Network, Title, iLoan, Home Mortgage, and James Tolson with Country Financial. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kirk Duckwall, and with me is Chad Vandelot, and we are the House Geeks. If you have any questions for us, give us a call at 612-207-5388. Again, 612-207-5388. If you're watching this on Facebook, type in any questions or comments that you have, and we'll catch them during the break. Also, check us out online anytime at housegeeks.com. Follow us on our Facebook page by typing in House Geeks, look for the little house and glasses. We record there most Tuesdays starting at noon, unless, of course, you're having technical difficulties and can't get the mixing board to work properly. Then you might come closer to like 1:30.
Hey, can they check us out on our YouTube page too?
They can check us out on our YouTube page. Yes, type in House Geeks. Put out a great new video on there, and hope to bring more exciting videos like that here in the near future. Today, we're going to be talking about the fall market. I'm actually really kind of excited to do this show because I'm starting to see some trends that I've been waiting a while to see. We knew it would happen. It was just a matter of when. And there's starting to be some indicators that we are having some changes in the marketplace. Very early stages of potential indicators. So I might be putting the cart in front of the horse, but at least I'm starting to see some trends here. But let's kind of talk about, just some of the generals in the marketplace right now. So, looking at the 13-county metro area.
These are new numbers. These are July numbers. Just to put that out there.
Yes. July numbers. Now, some of the numbers that we're going to be going through later are actually just days ago numbers that I pulled. But it's kind of compiling all this. So this is the July, so end of July they put this together. It's the median sale price, average sale price, days on market, things like that.
For the 13-county Twin Cities region, July market update.
Yes. So the median sale price, $265. I believe that's actually at $268 as of today. So we're seeing a trend upwards. That was at 7.3% growth over last year. Days on market average in July was at 49. I believe that's at 40 now. So we're definitely seeing some changes as far as the shortening of days in the market. Obviously, prices are still continuing to rise. So that kind of makes you look at the market in general and go, well, it seems same old, same old. However, when we get to the weekly activity report, which is a little more recent than the local market updates, that's where you're going to start to see these changes. If we look at the just Minneapolis, the market was up 8.6%. And one of the things we've talked about before is you got to bring this into perspective, because you can have like Southwest Minneapolis up 1.8%. So that's underperforming the historical average in the Twin Cities, in Minnesota, which is typically 4.5% growth per year. And so that's at 1.8. But then you look at Minneapolis University neighborhood up 14.2%, near North up at 14.4, Camden up 12.9. So all these markets that were sleeper markets 2 years ago are the ones that are booming now. And the ones that kind of recovered fully are just sitting back.
Another interesting figure for the weekly market update is for the last 3 months, when you compare new listings to the same time last year, we're seeing new listings increase.
Right. And hold that thought. So I want to get into that. There's some other numbers there that are changing, and that's definitely one of them. So I just, out of curiosity, I don't know if you've looked, and if you've looked, it's going to take away some of the fun, but which do you think performed better year to date, Minneapolis or St. Paul?
I may have to say St. Paul.
You are correct. Up 13.1%. However, when you're looking at like median sale price in St. Paul, 214,900, median sale price in Minneapolis, 262. So,
and that's why I thought St. Paul, is because the affordability is actually, in general, going down for the real estate market. So it's pushing people into markets, their second choice, maybe. Mm-hmm. And St. Paul in general tends to be a little more affordable.
A second choice?
Not for me personally.
I'm offended.
I've lived in St. Paul for 17 years, only moved out to the suburbs because, I'm the family guy now. But eventually I'd like to move back out to St. Paul, but I knew St. Paul is a little bit more affordable than Minneapolis.
Right. And it's the affordability that's driving these markets that have been kind of the sleepers out there. A market that's just exploding is Richfield, because of the prices in South Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. So you want to see something interesting, look at Southwest Minneapolis, up 1.8%. Then look at Richfield. See how much of that jumped up. So yeah, you're seeing these areas that were a little slow to come around are now just exploding out there. I know when we talked about our buying rental properties, that these areas that have boomed, they've boomed, right? And so now you want to look for the ones that are going to be booming or are coming up. And there's still lots of great spots where you can get good values. Dayton's Bluff and St. Paul up 12.9%. Summit University, so that's actually like hugging the northern part of, we're just south of 94 there, and just north of 94, up towards University, Summit University neighborhood, up 13.5%. So some huge growth in certain locations. This is a kind of an interesting one. West Side only up 2.4%. I thought that would have been up higher.
I would as well.
Yeah.
I think the West Side is an undervalued neighborhood in the Twin Cities right now, especially for people where they don't have school-age children that want to move into an area with good schools.
I would put my money on that's going to be one of the next to pop. Mm-hmm. It's probably a sleeper right now, but if you look at what West 7th is doing at up 12%, they're next to go.
Mhm.
They're next in line.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's because of the bridge being down.
That is a pain in the, well, you know what.
Mhm. Bloomington. I'm a little surprised and I think when we look at the breakdown, but only up 4.2% as a whole. And looking at some of the suburbs, a lot are in that situation, but then, you get into it's that affordability aspect. I think there was so much growth last year that this year that once they're crossing that 250,000 price point, you've just not seen the activity anymore. It's at sub 250, especially sub 200.
I had multiple buyers buying up to 250 in Bloomington, and we just had a heck of a time securing something in Bloomington this summer. So you're absolutely right. The competition for those first-time home buyer homes in Bloomington was very, very tough.
You want to find another, where is my sheet? Am I going to be able to get to that? Oh, there we go. Market share. This is fun. So looking for that great deal out there. Short sales coming in at average sale price of $200,000. The bank-owned properties coming in, this Twin Cities wide, coming in average sale price of $205,000, and then traditional at $269,900.
Wow.
So great deals if you can find short sales. Too bad it only makes up 0.4% of the marketplace. Isn't that crazy?
So low this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, bank owns at 1.5% of the marketplace.
As compared to, do you still have it in front of you? What was it in 2011?
2011 lender owns were about 55%.
So right, over half. Now it's 1%.
Yes, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, talk a little bit more about the foreclosure market, and then get into what we're seeing the market trends doing. We'll be right back. No questions for us. No. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the House Geeks Real Estate Show on AM 950. Today we're talking about all market, and what we're seeing is trends that are happening out there. And I'm kind of excited to get into this segment because I'm seeing numbers, and Chad, I'm a numbers junkie. And there are definitely trends that I'm seeing out there that are finally showing changes in the marketplace. Changes that, honestly, I've been kind of wondering since 2014 exactly when it would happen. It kept seeming like, it's going to be next year or it's going to be 2 years out. Starting to see some trends. That doesn't mean anything really, yet. But if we keep seeing trends like this, it does mean maybe we're, for the naysayers out there, no, this is not a bubble bursting. This is a market maybe potentially leveling. And we'll get into what we're seeing in regards to that. However, before we get to that, you're talking about the short sale foreclosure versus traditional out there. The market is just in a place right now where a lot of people who thought they were a break even or upside down, it's just not the case anymore. So you're seeing very few foreclosure properties. Foreclosure properties that you tend to see are relatively deteriorated. There's a few decent ones out there, but it's about really keeping your pulse on the market if you are kind of looking for those buys. Honestly, I like going after, if I'm looking for a good buy for a buyer, looking at the estate sale, relocation properties, distress sales in that manner instead, versus a home that needs all the sheetrock ripped out because of mold. Days on market. This is where you see a lot of discrepancies. So you can have an average days on market with a short sale of 142, bank owns 46, and then traditional of 37. Now, because those are such small percentages of the marketplace, it's not playing into having as much of an effect on it. But short sales and foreclosures do drive that up a bit. Yeah. So let's talk about the market and what we're seeing out there. I mean, when this spring, and by spring, I'm talking about like last November.
Let's be real. So maybe second week in January, third week in January is really when we start to feel the spring market.
Well, last year, like I was looking at the St. Paul numbers, and last year, September and October held relatively stable, and it started clipping up in November, and that clip held strong until June-ish of this year. And I don't know if what we're seeing right now, if we're going to start to see that pick back up again that early. Last year was a really odd year in how early the market started. But I've been saying, anybody who's been listening to the show for a long time has heard me say, spring market starts in January. And I don't think that's not going to be the case again. So many people held out on their listings, and rightfully so. I mean, with all the snow that we had come late in the spring this year, a lot of people held out on their listings to put it on the market. And it was when those listings came on the market in May and June that the market stopped. It slowed down. Mm-hmm. And a stat that anybody who's been listening to my market minutes the last few weeks have heard me talking about this showings per listing per day as a key indicator of the market. So if we look at April 15th through April 21st, average showings per listing per day was at 8.05 in the 200 to 400K price range in the Minneapolis area. Now, if you're listening to the market update this week, we're at 3.48. That's a huge drop in activity. Now, seasonally expected, that's a normal thing to see it drop off. But what wasn't normal is how early that pickup started last year. So what we had seen was that 8.45 showings per listing per day. And then come looking at July, that was down to 5.27. I'm sorry, come June, that was down to 5.27. Then for July, that was down to 3.94. So in the course of, just a couple months, the brakes were put on, the market dropped by half the activity. Interesting thing here, though, is if you look at like the Bloomington market or suburban market, when I was looking at Bloomington, when I was looking at the numbers, but it was 7.69 in that April timeframe. It dropped off in June and then picked back up in July. People were like, oh, I wonder why. And I'm thinking it was the people wanting to get into school and get their kids enrolled in school before, the new school year started. And so maybe that's why that market picked up a little bit. But so to put some perspective, right now it's at that 3.48, which is relatively seasonally expected to see it drop off a little bit. But that's still a 7% difference over last year at the same time, when it was at 3.75 showings per listing for this exact same week. Okay, 7% difference. That's enough of a spread to raise eyebrows. Okay, so why a 7% spread? Let's talk about the new listings. So if we look back, and we look back at a year ago, new listings coming on the market kept being under what the year before was. But this year it's not. Mm-hmm. New listings on the market, it's, we look at June, week of the 16th, up 10.4%, week of the 30th, up 15%, week of the July 14th, up 11%. Lots of ups. There was a down of 14% on the week of the 7th, probably just due to the 4th of July weekend there. That dropped off, but almost every other one was up over last year on new listings coming on the market. If we see trends that continue like that, I think we're going to see the market slowing.
Or to use another term, sort of balancing itself out of it.
Right, and you brought up, you think it's due also to affordability.
Yeah, the home prices have increased at a faster rate than earnings have increased. So affordability is down. And then you combine that with interest rates that are creeping very slowly, but still creeping upwards.
It's irritating me. I had predicted they would only go up 0.5%, and now they're up 0.6.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I want it to drop back a little bit. But yeah, housing affordability down 10.9% over the last year. That's a 12-month rolling average on that. And
now, the obvious question to some people at this point may be, are we headed towards another bubble? Now,
no,
I don't think economists would believe that. And the reason being is the economy is still growing. Unemployment is still down. There's stronger lending practices, and there is potential for improved inventory as well. They have more money. They're sticking more money into their home. The quality of the inventory is still going up, and we have new construction that's being added to the mix now because the builders are able to get money and people are able to afford the new homes.
Yep. Another factor, a piece in this chess game is pending sales. Pending sales, we've actually seen a drop in pending sales. So more inventory combined with lower pending sales, and we're talking minimal percentages here with this. This is down 0.7% over last year.
Less showings per week.
Yep. Yeah, the lower showings per week. I had another stat. Inventory. Oh yeah, we talked about the inventory of homes. You look at the beginning of the year and it's dropping at like 14%, 12%. And this is why we're down that 9.9. I mean, so I mean, I see a change coming to the market. I do not think this is a bubble bursting, but I think this is becoming a more stable marketplace.
I would agree.
Let's look at this come the winter market update, and I think we're going to have a much better idea of how long this is going to hold. We've had about a 3-month trend of this that we're seeing this difference. If you have any questions for us, thinking about buying or selling a home, want some advice in a potentially changing market, give us a call, 612-207-5388. Again, 612-207-5388. We'll be back again next week. Bye, Facebook.
Are we still live on Facebook?
We are until now.
So I have to watch what I say until...
Yes.